Lots of changes occurred during the events of GTA 5 Story Mode, from changes on the map to personalities. Lots of things change, so today we will go over those very things. And please subscribe if you do enjoy this video, it helps me out greatly. Trevor becomes more calm and composed after buried the hatchet. Perhaps the truth enlightened him a bit. You can notice this in certain cutscenes, and he just seems overall more calm and at ease with himself. When he's talking to other characters in the game, he just sounds more calm, less rambunctious. I'll play a couple of them and you decide for yourself.
And irritable as shit.
Yeah, a liar. Above all else. Fucking liar.
Homie, you sound like some bitch he ain't called. Like, oh, he lied to me.
I am some bitch he didn't call. Family is important, though.
People is important, sure. But actually family? Man, all I got is my crazy ass aunt.
Well, loyalty is important. Let me put it that way. Loyalty is important. I mean, that's the only code you need. Loyalty.
The FIB building will have construction panels on the upper floors due to the raid that Michael and Franklin executed on it, even after a while in story mode. Dave Norton takes over Steve Haynes' show, The Underbelly of Paradise, after completing the third way.
Amanda too. How's work?
Work? It's fine. Better than fine. It's good. Had a few lucky breaks.
The Pillbox Hill Hospital will have a boarded up window after completing one of the Vinewood souvenir missions, in which Trevor drives a car through it, lands on the floor, and kidnaps Audi Napoli.
Seems rude not to follow him through the window.
The O'Neill house is burnt to a crisp after completing Crystal Maze, and it will stay like that unless you are playing GTA Online, but for the remainder of GTA 5 Story Mode, it will remain burned down. Lester's garment factory is burned down, though in GTA Online he still uses it in the original heist and is also being used in the next update. For me, it's kind of weird the fact that they're using it, because in the lore this place is burned down and it doesn't exist anymore as far as the character is concerned. So to reuse it in the heist update and in this update is kind of strange to me, but we'll see how it plays out, and in the end I doubt it will really matter all that much. The helicopter wreckage from the Polito score is still there at the apartments after the character shoots it down and it crashes.
Let's go. Move. I got you covered. You hear that, guys? Shit.
Tanisha gets divorced with her doctor husband and ends up with Franklin. This was news when the contract came out, in which there is a car at Franklin's house with the license plate that kind of spells Tanisha. The ship in the Ellis Harbor will still be there, sunken and destroyed, even after some time in GTA 5 story mode, although the nuke that Trevor stole is no longer there. Lamar still kept his Emperor from back in the day and has now blinged it out with some green for the families obviously, and some wheels and window tint, whereas before it had a black roof with a blue base color. Lamar always remaining humble.
Hell nah, homie. Nah, this right here's my...
Laszlo cuts his signature ponytail as he appears with straight hair during After Hours. Perhaps after Michael cut it, he never bothered to grow it back and then just rocked the straight hair all the way to After Hours, in which we see him with straight hair and without the ponytail. Although I kinda do miss the ponytail. Floyd's apartment will have caution tape on the door, and the window will still remain bloody after Trevor's incident, we shall call it, in Hang 10. At the later stages of the game, you can find Michael's entire family sitting at the kitchen table, which you never saw until this point, kind of re-indicating that they're back together and at least on talking terms, at least to the point where they could all sit on the kitchen table and kind of converse with each other.
Yeah, Jimmy, are you ready to talk?
Well, I was going to do a before and after of Simeon because there was like a 10-year gap from him in story mode and in GTA Online, but he didn't actually age a single day, so maybe we could all take some tips from him.
Congratulations. Wasn't easy picking a winner.
I was also going to do a before and after of Mrs. Madrazo, but she also didn't age very much at all. Regardless, after story mode, she ended up having a son, who we of course help in Kale Perico, and she also appears at the club with 2 other women. She seems very close to these women, so these could very well be her daughters, but this is unconfirmed. After completing the third way, when switching to Michael, he will sometimes be at the movie studio just out and about. This obviously does not occur before his relationship with Solomon really kicks off. After Hang 10, Wade will permanently be sitting with some ladies at the Vanilla Unicorn, and he'll be having a swell old time.
What would really turn me on
Is you wearing...
After Trevor becomes owner of the Vanilla Unicorn, you will not get kicked out for getting handsy with the ladies, even if you are Franklin or Michael. For obvious reasons, I can't show this, but just trust me. And if you're that unsure, you can test this in game for yourself. Stab City will remain burned as well after Trevor blows it up. The trailers appear quite odd though. The textures are kind of just oily and shiny. Maybe that fire has something to do with it. Well, I'm sure it does, but it kind of just looks funny to me. And some trailers are surprisingly left untouched. Franklin always thought Lamar was holding him back, so much so that he was considering not being Lamar's homie anymore. But a talk from none other than Mr. Phillips himself sways him in the opposite direction. And then of course they stay together up until the contract, happily ever after.
Bunch of GTAO fools wanting us dead and nothing to show for it. Lamar, man. Man, I love this dude, but damn, I need to roll with some pros, man. What's happening?
Whoa, hey, buddy. Listen, Lamar, he's your friend, right? Has been for years. We'll show him some loyalty, okay? What, you think Michael's gonna be loyal to you? Ha! You can't buy that. You can't find it on the street.
Lester goes on to enter the drug market as he becomes our helper in LJT in GTA Online. Now, this is somewhat unconfirmed in the GTA Online universe, as he never indirectly or directly mentions that he is Lester, but he kind of gives a hint, so maybe he does indirectly mention it, because during a phone call with the character, sometimes he will say, hey, it's Les, and then cut himself off, and then correct it to LJT. So LJT could very well possibly be Lester, and in my opinion, I do believe that he is Lester, just using a voice changer because the world of drugs is very wide, very diverse. Lester doesn't want to be caught in that world, and it's not really a world that Lester is really in tune with, so him using a voice changer to kind of mask that really does make sense to me. Ron goes on to help our characters in GTA Online smuggle drugs after the Smuggler's Run update of course came out. This could mean that his relationship with Trevor has kind of dwindled, because if you're working under TP Industries, why would you go ahead and start your own Smuggler's Run business without Trevor? I feel like this is something that Trevor kind of just wouldn't allow. And maybe Ron finally wised up to the fact that Trevor was kind of abusing him after all this time. I mean, Trevor's not really a good person by any means. He was kind of using Ron just for his knowledge, really, kind of using him as a slave. But now he does run his own freight with our GTA Online character without paying his dues to Trevor. After GTA 5 story mode in the mission The Wrap Up, Agent ULP does make another appearance in GTA 5 in GTA 5 Online. Although the interesting thing to me is that he becomes an enemy as an enemy NPC in the Wrap Up after Michael has the whole confrontation with Steve Haynes. To get past this, you kind of have to kill him. I mean, you don't have to kill him. Like, you could progress without killing him, but it's much harder. You may as well just gun and blaze everyone running by. So it is interesting to me how he does appear as a hostile NPC in this mission, but he does go on to reappear in GTA Online. Regardless, we do go on to work with him in GTA Online many times in the Doomsday Heist, and of course in his own missions, and he's getting quite old at this point, so who knows how long he has. Dr. Friedlander also could potentially die in GTA 5 story mode, because the last Shrink mission, you can choose to let him live, in which he will publish his story or his book about Michael, in which he basically uses Michael's name and names everything that he did.
This town.
Radio host and author Isaiah Friedlander was murdered by an unknown assailant yesterday.
Or you can choose to kill him, which is what most people did. Surprisingly enough, Rockstar assumed that most players didn't choose that and gave him an entire DLC basically in the first dose and the last dose missions. He of course goes on to become some hippie drug dude who like does some weird stuff to us. I mean, it was quite a trippy DLC, and I only played it once because I ain't trying to have no crazy dreams or nothing like that. After completing her bounty work with Trevor, Maud goes on to sell off or kind of pass off the bail office to her daughter, in which we help her out. I believe her name is Jeanette. I have barely played that DLC because I absolutely hate it. Honestly, I'm not even going to get started on that. I'm cutting myself off. But regardless, she makes an appearance in GTA Online briefly. She probably wanted a certain amount of money, but Rockstar was like, nah, we're going to pay you for like a couple minute cutscene and that's it. You're not getting no more. And she was like, all right, bet, because you're still paying me back. She does the cutscene, and then we basically talk with her daughter for the rest of the update, and that is about it. But for Maud, she's now gone. Well, not dead, but gone, you know. Hal first makes an appearance as a Strangers and Freaks mission for Franklin, in which he wants to race. In that case, you could race, and basically nothing really happens from there. But in GTA Online, he does make another appearance in Los Santos Tuners, in which he does get his own custom mods in Hal's Special Works. HSW is of course the fastest cars that you could possibly get in the game, and they are coming soon to PC. So if you're on PC, shout out to y'all finally getting it. So shout out to y'all on PC, y'all finally getting it. And of course, he is always in the tuner shop in the LS car meet, customizing people's cars and making making them into HSW cars. And of course, Lamar goes on to start LD Organics, the finest marijuana company in all of Los Santos. He actually innovated the patented weed van, in which the van is made out of weed. Absolutely fantastic mastermind, brilliant. Whoever Avon Hertz is, that guy sucks. He's no visionary. Lamar Davis is the true visionary.
Family for life, you already know. But look, I told you this shit was gonna crack. Didn't I tell you it was gonna crack, nigga? Nigga, I'm a motherfucking marketing genius, nigga.
Paige from the story mode is of course a heist crew member who helps us in various heists. You can actually use her in a lot of the heists, all the way from the jewelry store up until the big con. You can use her all the way through. And she of course has made a pretty stable appearance in GTA 5 Online as well. She has helped us in the original heist, in which she kind of just doesn't really do anything. She's not really a voted crew member. She has to mandatory be part of the crew. But in the Diamond Casino heist, we can choose her as a hacker, in which case she takes, I think, 10%, which isn't too bad considering how much you make. Avi Schwartzman takes about 11%, I believe, or 9% and 10% respectively. And they are the best hackers. Paige is a pretty good hacker. If you don't have Avi Schwartzman, Paige is definitely your go-to. But it's cool to see that she has been kept in the game, even though she was kind of not even a side character, a character who had very little screen time, but she still made it to GTA Online and still made many appearances in GTA Online. Cheng Jr., who we of course know because he tried to make a deal with Trevor, ended up going with the O'Neills, then Trevor kind of killed all the O'Neills, all that good jazz. Cheng Jr. does also make another appearance in GTA Online, and most recently, I believe, the Diamond Casino update. Not the heist, it was just the update. His sister makes an appearance in the Diamond Casino heist, but in the Diamond Casino update, we kind of take over his operations. We help him a little bit, and then the Duggins, we kind of kill them a little bit. Bada bing, bada boom. And Cheng Jr. is usually always doing something kind of crazy. In the Diamond Casino update, I keep on wanting to say he and Brucey kind of do some testosterone things, and they're always kind of fighting, doing yoga or whatever. And I don't think we have seen him since. And of course, in Minor Turbulence, Trevor kind of takes down a plane involuntarily. He tries to land it at he tries to land it at Mackenzie Airfield. Whether he could have or not, we don't know, because the plane was pretty big, airfield's pretty small. But regardless, plane ends up at the LMLC, and you can deep dive, go down there, and I believe get a carbine rifle and some money as well. It's really not worth it though, because Trevor he already has money off the bat. So to go down there as Trevor and get the money, I don't know if you do as another character, but regardless, plane ends up down there, and it does stay down there for the whole game after the fact. And that is everyone. Thank you to all. Oh my god. And that is everyone. Thank you all for watching so much. Thank you to Byron for being a channel member. If you want to be like Byron and get a custom license plate on one of my cars in GTA Online, all you have to do is become a channel member. And have a great day or night or evening. I'll see you all later. And goodbye. Hey. Hey, look. Hey, look. Hey, look. You better subscribe, because if you do not, I might cry. You better subscribe, I ran up the bands in GTA 5. You better subscribe, because if you do not, you might cry. You better subscribe, because if you don't, I might die. You better subscribe, I'm about to go crazy on the beat. You better subscribe, hey, wait for the beat to drop. Ooh, you better subscribe, hey, you better subscribe, I'm out of breath.